Hello everyone! In today's video I'm going to show you how I created this Among Us character lamp. The first thing I did was to create a box for my battery holder. This box is going to become the backpack later on in the process. Then I took the lid off the battery holder and glued it into the box I had just made. Then it was time to solder. I first soldered two LEDs together and then connected the wires to my LED construction. I put this aside and continued with the character's legs. I first made two flat round pieces for the bottom of the feet and then glued stones to them. This was to give it some weight in the bottom to prevent the final character from falling over. I continued with gluing the wooden sticks into place with some paper between for extra stability. I covered the legs with tinfoil and then put them together. I then continued building the framework of the character and eventually I glued the backpack into place. For the goggles I created a rectangular box that I glued into place. I pulled the light construction out of the backpack and glued it into place. Then I continued with the framework. I added some more stones and in this case it was to compensate for the weight from the backpack. Without these stones the character fell backwards. For the goggles I used a thin piece of plastic that I glued in place. I also glued smaller pieces of plastic to the edges of the goggles to cover the openings. And then I went back to working on the framework and covering the whole character with tinfoil. Then it was finally time for the clay. I used some sort of air drying paper clay that I added to the character. To smooth the clay out, I dipped my finger in some water. When the clay was dry, it was time for painting. First I painted the goggles. I covered the plastic with a thin layer of white. At the bottom I added some shadows and to the top some highlights with more white paint. Then I painted the rest of the character. I chose to paint it orange since I always choose orange for my character when I play Among Us. Before I decided to be done with the project, I created 2 simple accessories for my character, or as they are called in the game, hats. I folded the classical paper hat and I also did the post-it note. If you would like me to make a separate video on how to make more hats for Among Us characters, write it in the comment section down below. And this is how the Among Us character turned out. It was a pretty time-consuming project, but I really liked how it turned out. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss my future videos. Bye!